Hello everyone. This is Oni, and today for you I have a review for Agent Intercept, which is a sort of on rails action game produced by indie studio Pickpock, and it came to PC in June of 2021, and then it found its way onto consoles in June 2022. So, how about we just get right into the review here? As the agent, you become trained on how to use the super spy car known as the Scepter. It's your job to help take down the super criminal organization known as Claw, who are ruthless and are trying to take over the world. Now, come, Agent, there's evil schemes to stop. The story takes place over a string of 15 missions, each only lasting a few minutes each, but each level is jam-packed with crazy action and slow motion and over-the-top stunts. Unfortunately, with how short the levels are, the game itself is really short if you only stay for the story. Though it is a really enjoyable spy thriller that made me suddenly want to watch a lot of spy thriller movies, it just pulls it off amazingly well, with deception and lies and a crazy villain who thinks they're the smartest. Unfortunately, when you play, there's some dialogue in the levels that is drowned out because of how focused you get on the action, or the fact that the dialogue volume is nowhere near the levels of the music and sound effects. So I found myself turning down all the other noises so I could hear what was actually being said when the game wouldn't transition to a cutscene. As much as you're put in control of your car, you also have very little control as well. The game plays like an on-rail shooter, in a sense that you don't really get to control your movement. Like it or not, the car drives by itself. You get to steer left or right and use boost to go a bit faster or start to drift around corners. But even drifting, for example, I felt like I had no real control over the car. This was a bit infuriating, especially when I was doing challenges for the levels that required me to pick up score collectibles or not run into other vehicles. Chances are, I would run into vehicles on a drift, because again, I had no control. Even though I had no control, it was still a blast using the spy car, as it changed from a car, to a boat, to even a snowmobile. It was amazing to see the creativity that the devs put into it. I enjoyed blasting enemies with all the super weapons I had at my arsenal when I got a weapon pickup, or just slamming into them and watching them careen off the road. The game has a good amount of side content if you're interested in it, though none of the side missions really have any story structure to them. They're all broken up into regions, and they still follow around the agency taking out Claw, but that's about it. But they are a little fun distraction from the main story, all with their own series of challenges, just like the main story levels. Some of these challenges were easy, and some required some effort. Unfortunately, a small amount of them took a lot of trial and error to get right, and unfortunately, the internet had no information about them to help me out. Once you beat a mission, you unlock its score attack modes. These are pure score attack. A target practice, where you wait for targets to flip around and test your reflexes, and a time trial to see how fast you can get to the end of the level. These were all enjoyable in their own rights, but yet at the same time, they are only 3 challenges available for every level. On the bright side, when you beat a set of scores per level, you then unlock world leaderboards. And these were always exciting to see where I placed amongst the other handful of players. I did place number 1 in some challenges, and I'm curious as to whether or not I'll ever be beaten. For everything this game did right, it got another thing wrong. The story was exciting, but way too short. The car is fun to drive, but you don't really have any control. The score attacks are a fun way to rank against other players, but there's only 3 kinds. But that doesn't take away too much from the entire package, and it's definitely worth a play, especially if you ever played the Spy Hunter series or enjoy a good classic spy thriller. And that is why I'm giving Agent Intercept a 7 out of 10. Now I hope you enjoyed the review. If you'd like to see the written article where this work is taken from, I'll link the article down below to Node Gamers. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter and keep up with everything I do, I'll put a link down below for that. If you'd like to join the Node Gamers Discord channel and talk to me about this review or other reviews or other written articles or games in general, I'll have a link in the description below. So, I hope you have a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good night. And until next time, goodbye!